What's up everybody, Kinetic here and welcome back to the Elder Scrolls Online Academy. In today's video I'm going to be talking about stealing and murder. You see, I really like that they've added these two features here to ESO. Somewhat recently, the justice system has been in place for a little while. Before the justice system, you could take anything you wanted. There is just really not a lot of consequences roaming around in ESO, but now that you can steal and murder people, and they've got the whole justice system going on in here, ESO feels a little bit more like a sandbox experience now, and very much like the single-player games that we've come to know and love, like for example Morrowind, Oblivion, Skyrim. You had that influence, right? You could steal things that you want, you could murder people that you wanted. In ESO, obviously, you can't murder everybody because that would be detrimental to other players' experience, but anytime you see a container, anytime you see a backpack, anytime you see a locked chest or something like that, and it says steal, my heart starts pumping because I love stealing. It's one of my favorite pastimes, like both in real life and in video games. I like stealing. It's tons of fun. It's very exciting. Murder, not so much, but in ESO, yeah, like I stop everything that I'm doing, everything I drop, like whatever I was doing. Now my focus is, okay, how do I open this package, whatever it is, this chest, bag, whatever, without NPCs seeing me? Because if they see you doing it, then they're going to mark you as a criminal, and then the next time a guard sees you, they're going to want you to not only pay a fine, but you're also going to have to cough up whatever items that you have that are stolen in your inventory. And what also is a catch here is you can't store stolen items. You can't like take what you've been stealing and put it in a bank or anything like that. Oh no. You can't do that. So you got to be careful about this, but it's so much fun, man. Like, it's just a mini game in itself. I love trying to figure out what are the patterns in the way people are moving around, the timing of the guard and stuff like that, to try and figure out the optimal moment. And they've really made it that there are very small windows sometimes of opportunity for you to go get that item out of that chest or something like that before time runs out, whatever that timer happens to be. So here's a few things that's sort of like a kind of a checklist that I go through as I'm attempting to steal something. First of all, I have to recognize what kind of container is this. If it's a backpack or a basket or something like that, I can easily steal the item within a split second. But if it's a locked box, then there is a challenge right there, because oftentimes what they have done is they've set it up that you have a window of opportunity where NPCs will not be around, or at least they won't be noticing what you're doing. And so you have to kind of understand then, if it is like, for example, a locked box, you have to take the time to look around at all of the NPCs and see what kind of activity is going on there. Another thing that's even more important is, are there any actual guards? Because while the NPCs themselves are kind of a threat, if they see you stealing, they identify you as a criminal, and then you have a bounty on your head. But they're not gonna like tackle you and beat the crap out of you or anything like that. It's the guards you have to worry about though. If they catch you stealing, then you're busted, and then you're gonna have to pay a fine or try to run away. And usually trying to run away doesn't work. So you end up paying the fine most of the time, also giving up all of the items that you had stolen at that time, or have maybe stolen in the past. Like anything that is stolen property on you is then going to be given up. And I've lost, like at one point, I got busted while I had been stealing for like a good hour or something like that. And I had like over 1,000 gold worth of stolen items in my backpack, and I got sloppy, and the next thing you know, a guard saw me and not only fined me, but took everything that I had. And that was kind of, that was a bit depressing, but it was a lesson learned. Oftentimes when you're stealing, you can use some kind of structure to block the view of NPCs or whoever being able to see you doing whatever it is you're doing. Like large cabinets, I can often, for example, just kind of get really close to, and then I'll be in a completely hidden state while I take out whatever's in that cabinet. But it's not always going to be that easy. There's going to be times when there's just really small items, like for example that maybe is a barrel or a bench or something like that, which really isn't going to cover you probably very much, if at all. So really, it's going to be about timing. Now we have this indicator. We've got this this eye that opens and closes in 3 different stages. It's fully open when NPCs can clearly see you while you're trying to hide. You are detected. Anything that you do that is illegal at this point is going to get you in trouble. There's kind of like a partially closed phase as well, which is mostly safe, but there is still a chance, it seems like, at some point or another, for whatever reason, where it is possible you can still get caught in this partially hidden phase. That's why I advise, or at least I try the most, to steal only when it's completely closed. That when that eye is completely closed, you're fully hidden, then you are 99% safe at that point. There is still the chance that an NPC might suddenly turn around or something like that, if it's part of whatever their routine is or something like that, and then you could go from hidden to completely detected and then busted while you're trying to pick open a lock or something like that. So again, timing is really important, but also understanding what the different phases of the eye and observing what are the patterns maybe of what the NPCs are doing and stuff like that is going to help you determine when is your best window of opportunity, so that way you can get in there, open that package, and get the hell out of there before they see you. Now sometimes things just don't work out. Sometimes you're just unlucky, sometimes you're being sloppy. Either way, you've probably gotten busted, and now is the time to lay low. What you can do, you have a few different options if you've been marked by an NPC as a criminal for stealing or whatever. You can, you need to get out of the city. That's probably your highest priority, because guards inhabit cities and towns and things like that. And like I said, if they see you, that's when the heat is really going to get turned up. What you can do is you can simply avoid places like that, and over time, the bounty on your head is going to decrease to the point that it no longer exists. It's basically forgotten, nobody cares anymore. And so you can naturally let this wear off of you. If you need to get rid of this bounty sooner, then what you want to do is you want to head over to an outlaw's refuge. Now these refuges are only found in the biggest cities in whatever area you happen to be in. Like for example, if you're in Deshaun, then Mournhold would be the place where you can find an outlaw's refuge. And inside is going to be an NPC. There's multiple NPCs, but there's one particular NPC that you're looking for, and he's called a fence. Now what the fence can do is he can go ahead and erase your bounty for the same price. The difference here is that if you're caught by a guard, like I said, they're going to take all your stuff that you have stolen. Having the fence get paid for erasing your bounty, you keep everything that's in your bag. But you might as well, while you're here and talking to the fence, there's a couple of other things that he can do for you. He can go ahead and he will purchase any stolen items that you have that are worth any kind of money, right? And usually these range from something like 30 gold to 250 gold a piece, which is really nice. If you have items that are in your inventory though that are stolen but you want to keep them because you have some kind of use for them, maybe it's a crafting material or a weapon that you want to use for yourself, then you can have these cleaned, laundered, so that way they are no longer marked as stolen, and then not only will no guards take them if you happen to get caught at any point in time, but you can also store these in your bank storage area. For recipes, again, it's kind of like if you want to use it yourself, like a crafting material, or whether maybe you want to sell it. Now, since I'm trying to learn recipes for myself for provisioning, aka cooking, what I normally do is I go ahead and use these recipes immediately if I've stolen them from a container. I don't want to launder them because that's a complete waste of money when I can just use the recipe. It's a consumable item and then it's gone once I've actually used it. If I want to sell it, well then that's something different. I would need to then launder the item so that way I can sell it on the market or something like that to another player. Now at this point, if I've got no items in my bag, then really I have very little reason to fear guards as much at this point, because a fine is a fine. If I'm paying it to either the fence or I'm paying it to the guard. If I can avoid it entirely though, I will. To demonstrate what happens if you have a fine on your head and you're riding past a guard, well, here you go.
Yeah. What? Don't you just hate guards hassling you for bounties? Almost makes you wanna stop committing crimes.
So at this point, again, like I've said, you've got a couple of options. You can go ahead and pay the fine, and if you have any stolen goods, then the guard is going to take all of those. Or if you don't answer that you will pay the fine in time, or you decide that you're going to flee, then the guard assumes that you are the scummiest criminal on the earth and is now going to kill you. In fact, now you are marked kill on sight by all guards at this point. It's incredibly difficult, especially at lower levels, to get away at this point. And this is the first time as you're watching here that I was actually able to use the skills that I have as a Nightblade to get away from this guard. I was really surprised. I thought for sure that this guard was going to deal enough damage and just keep locking me down with the variety of kind of crowd control abilities that they have. But yeah, if you're slippery enough, if you can drop into hiding or something like that, like you can here with a Nightblade, then it is possible to get away. But really, like I said, if you have a bounty on your head, the best thing to do is either go ahead and pay it off, or just avoid towns entirely, avoid guards, avoid the roads actually, because you will never find guards roaming around off the beaten path. It's very easy to avoid guards and go on questing, go on doing whatever it is that you want to do outside of towns, and like I said, the fine itself will wear off over time, saving you money. Murder is going to have the same effect as if you were trying to run away from guards. You're kill on sight, you have the maximum negative reputation that you possibly can. But just like stealing, the effect of your crime wears off over time. I've heard that if you log off while you have some kind of bounty on your head for whatever your crime is, that it actually decreases faster than what it would if you were logged in. So if you want to, what you can do is log off of one character, log on to an alt if you have an alt or something like that for a few minutes, and your reputation, I guess, decreases even faster. I don't know if there's any truth to that or not. Maybe somebody can confirm that in the comments section for this video. But that actually is going to wrap it up here for stealing and a little bit talk about murder. I really do enjoy these features here in ESO. It's not something that you get to experience in a lot of games, especially online multiplayer games, and it's these little things that I think are making ESO a lot of fun for me. I hope they continue to add these sort of activities that you can do that, you know, maybe are positive or negative in the world, to kind of have an influence on it, because that's a really powerful feeling when you can actually affect the world around you, especially in an online game. I want to know what you guys think now in the comments section below. If you're playing ESO, feel free to share some of your criminal exploits in the comments section. I'd really like to hear some stories from other players. Stay subscribed, guys. More videos from the Elder Scrolls Online Academy are on the way. Thanks again for watching. My name is Kinetic, and I'll see you next time.